Welcome to the BitBoy Crypto or the BitBoy X Morning Show. Depends on what you want to call it. I've got a big announcement, everybody. I am actually quitting YouTube and I'm going to go become a potato farmer. I hope you guys really are excited about that. I think there's a lot of potential. All eyes are on the potatoes. Just so you know. No, guys. Today's a big day. Actually, today is a very big day, and we're going to be talking about something that I never in my wildest dreams imagined would be the case. And I would also follow that up with saying, I apologize. I think our stream on Friday, we didn't stream yesterday because of Labor Day. Our stream on Friday got cut short. Not sure why it got cut short, but it did. I had it in the background, and I did probably 30 minutes of a show that nobody watched. So, but that's okay. That's most other YouTubers. That's all they do is make shows that nobody watches. I'm just kidding. We love them. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Ethereum and how it affects the entire market, and we're going to start putting up like some ideas that honestly I never thought could be true, and basically just to set the hook for you guys. Well, you don't cast it with the same hand. Reel you guys in. We're talking about a $500,000 Ethereum. Let me say that again. We're talking about a $500,000 Ethereum today. And, I know that is like kind of really a weird concept for anybody in crypto to get behind, that the coin could still 100x from where Ethereum is. But there are some strong arguments for it. And we're going to be going over that today. But first, trade Bydfi. You guys want a site to sign up for, we have a link down below for you guys, and it's so easy. There's no KYC, there's no VPN. You can log in with your Gmail account. That's how easy this is. So you should be bullish on that. But let's go ahead and go to CoinMarketCap. I say it every day, don't I? Every day I say CoinMarketCap. We never go to CoinMarketCap. We always go to CoinGecko. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on in the markets today. Get a refresh, get the latest number. We've got 3.9 trillion in market cap overall, which we have to get over 4 to make a good challenge here. To ETH can get over $5,000 and Bitcoin can get off its slide here. Okay, am I back? Am I back? Do not know what is causing this problem. Okay, hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I got to get one. Got to change computers here. Not right now, but I'm going to at some point. Yeah, that may not be no good. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Share screen. It's okay. People are just still joining anyways. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we are back on CoinGecko. I'm using an older computer of mine. I have to get a new one. I mean, I have plenty of new ones to choose from, but okay. So market cap coming at 3.9 trillion. We've got the volume at 152.3 billion. The information I've got for you guys today is so strong. It's so strong. That's why they always want to mess up my streams. Dominance 52 or 56.6%, Ethereum 13.4%, which I think is about exactly what it was the other day. Let me stretch this out here. We're going to do the show a little bit differently today to avoid some problems. But come here, you look. What's the gainers of the day? Meme Core, Story, Pump.fun, or the Pump Coin, CRO again, guys. Sky. Sky is the rebrand from what? Cannot remember what this rebrand is from. What is it? Maker. It's Maker. I should know that. It's Maker. Sorry, first time I've seen that new logo here. Okay, so you see we had some small gainers, small at 6.4%. And the market is looking pretty interesting right now. Bitcoin did just bounce, obviously, back to 111. I had a long one. I put a long on at $1,008 or 1,008,500. So I made 7% on that trade on Phemex. So Bitcoin doing okay today, but I mean, really today the show is about Ethereum, really. And so we're going to go back to some of these things I had pulled up here. I'm going to go to Crypto Panic. I'm just going to try to open one tab at a time today is what I'm going to try to do. Okay, we're going up. We've got about 1,200 people in here. 1,200 of you care enough about crypto to watch the show that knows the most about crypto. It's really cool. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little peek at how I pick my stories. I pick them from Crypto Panic. Crypto Panic usually has the best. And that one, that one, that one, that one. And we're also going to do that one. And we were going to do this one. And we were going to do this one. Actually, we covered this one the other day. We're not going to do that one. All right, so let's check it out. Let's see what they're saying here. I hit the wrong. Okay, here it is. Oh man, I did it wrong. 1 second. It's kind of an interesting site, to be honest with you. Okay, so we're going to go over with this one. There we go. There we go. Watch this up. Watch this up. Okay. So we've got Ethereum is the biggest. Joseph Lubin here. We're going to open up. Look at several things that he said. Okay. All right. Is ETH's long-term bull run just getting started? And, you have to understand when someone like Joseph Lubin is speaking, they know better than to just throw out random BS. They will do it to manipulate the market, but also thank you to Market Cipher for being a new sponsor on the channel. I have a link for you guys to get it probably by tomorrow. But we go to our Market Cipher and you see we just have the green dot, which is good. Large green dot. So here's one. You can see where it moved from there. This one, it moved up a little bit, got immediately rejected, and then picked it up on the next one. So these green dots are not 100%, but if you set longs on Phemex or Bydfi, if you set longs wherever these green dots are, and you do it for every one, and you keep the stop loss pretty tight, then you probably are going to have an opportunity to make some really good money. So this is Bitcoin, by the way. This chart, I'm never going to get rid of this chart where I drew these lines because it is really interesting. I imagined way back in January that it could be somewhere. It crossed. We had a cross. What do they call that? The Bitcoin Golden Cross is what they call it, actually. But we also have this yellow line here that I drew as another possible scenario. But we just got the large green dot, so maybe it will continue on the upward action. See, my red line was pretty good too. These were two possible paths for the chart, and it hit pretty well. So I do want to go to Ethereum though. Like I said, guys, today's show is really about Ethereum. I do have a little bit of what do I have for you guys? A little bit of XRP somewhere if I can find it, and it's a little Cardano news and some Solana news. But let's explore what the show is really about today. It's about Ethereum, and when you look back and you tuck that thing all the way in, you can see that we are right at where we were before last time. It had two peaks. This one's got two peaks and it went down last time. And I would really, honestly, I would be very inclined right now at this moment to use this chart to show you that the bull run's over. I could do that. I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't be fun. And I'm starting to be a believer. I'm starting to be an ETH believer. And back in 2020, I'd made a video where I explained how Ethereum could get to $100,000, and people thought that was insane. And with the action of ETH recently, it kind of looks that way, that it can't even get above this $5,000. But what if? What if? I predict the reason why I predicted the $100,000 ETH was because of institutions and derivatives. You may not know much about these things. But I've learned a vast amount since the years I've been in crypto. And when you look at it, my argument for Ethereum, why I thought it would flip Bitcoin in the last cycle and it didn't, was always derivatives. It was always about derivatives. What is a derivative? I don't know the actual definition. I don't know it by heart or anything like that. But what is derivatives? It's a way of creating investment, or it's a way of creating investment tools. And Ethereum is really on track to create a lot of things in its derivatives market. The derivatives market, by the way, like I said, it's an investment vehicle for investments that is not a direct investment in a company. You're thinking margin trading, longing, shorting. These are the types of things we're talking about. IOUs, debt. when you look at derivatives, how many ways there are to trade different niches or different areas, it is approximately somewhere in the 200 to 400 quadrillion range. Okay. All the money on earth, all the hard money on earth, and other investments as well, including real estate, which is a big one, they are only about between 25 and 50%. All the money in the world that's real in the world, 25 to 50% of the derivatives market, which is, like I said, possibly $400 trillion. And when you think about it, it's not real money, but it is, because, excuse me, it's not real money, but it is real money. I guess that's just the best way to say it. But looking at Bitcoin here, or looking at Ethereum here on the chart, make sure I do have it on the chart. I do. Looking at it here, it looks like we've double topped. If we don't go up above this, that would stand as a double top. However, there is a chance, and this is what I've been building to today, that not only is Bitcoin going to go to 100,000, or excuse me, not only Ethereum going to go to $100,000, Ethereum is going to go to $500,000, according to Joseph Lubin. So let's start with what Lubin had to say. ETH will 100x from here. And we're going to be combining two ideas today. Number one is that ETH is incredibly undervalued, and we're going to explain to you why. But number two, we're going to talk about how the 4-year cycle could be broken now. The 4-year cycle could be broken. And we could be in a crypto bull run for 12 years. Every time it would start to slow down, there would be a halving, and the halvings are getting very serious now. It's going from 3.5 to 1.75. Yes, I think that's right. I think it's going to 1.175 at the next halving. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know which it is. No, let's see. 50, 25, 12.5, 6.25. Yeah, right now we're at the 3. So Consensus CEO Joseph Lubin, I want to explain to you who this is. Okay. Joseph Lubin is one of the co-founders of Ethereum. You guys know the ones that get all the attention, which is Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik Buterin. They get all the attention. But Joseph Lubin is stepped away from Ethereum and took on kind of institutional Ethereum and corporate Ethereum. He is the CEO of Consensus, which is one of the most important companies in crypto, if not the most important company in crypto. I think some people would tell you maybe Coinbase is the most important. But Consensus is more based on Ethereum than Coinbase is based on any crypto. He says it will increase by 100 times from where it's trading. If I put 100x Ethereum on a thumbnail, I will get massacred for it, which is what I did today. But it's not me who said it. He said 100 times where it is trading. Pretty impressive. He added, though, that even uber bullish predictions are apparently not bullish enough. He says his own reasonable prediction is 100x. And he says that uber bullish prediction is apparently not bullish enough. On top of that, he's convinced that Ethereum will end up flipping Bitcoin's monetary base or market cap. Tom Lee is not bullish enough. Ethereum's momentum has been revived by Lubin taking a page out of the playbook of strategy co-founder, playbook of MicroStrategy co-founder, Michael Saylor, by becoming the chairman of SharpLink Gaming, SharpLink Gaming, a gaming affiliate marketing company that has pivoted to being an Ethereum treasury company with the help of Consensus and Lubin. I don't know much about that. That may be that could be a shill. I don't know. Do y'all know what SharpLink is? Is that something that happened while I was gone? I don't know what it is. Let's see. Talking about Tom Lee, Lubin admits he's friends with Lee, adding that he was not bullish enough when he said $60,000 in 5 years. Why Wall Street will stake ETH. Now, this is it, guys. This is it. This video I've been telling you guys about that I made back in probably 2020. The whole basis of that was on the institutional trading, because Ethereum is a layer. It's a chain. It's a layer. Like you can do things on the chain, and eventually it makes sense for all of Wall Street to move on chain. It makes everything faster, and it will also make it 24/7, I believe. It says Ethereum will replace siloed stacks with decentralized infrastructure. Consensus Head believes that ETH will become a core part of mainstream finance. In order to operate on decentralized rails, these companies would need to stake ETH, run validators, and operate L2s as well as L3s. This is the key, guys. Let me put this in the simplest terms, which is going to be grossly simple, but I'm going to try to make it simple. Every company in the world is going to want to get loans, and they're going to do it on ETH. Who does not like a loan? Who would not like a loan? If you were very confident that you were going to be able to pay it back. Think about all the things you could do. You could do, upgrade your kitchen. Who knows? Or these companies can add a new floor in a building, and things like that. And they're going to have ETH to do it. ETH, the plan with ETH was much more sinister than that. Sinister is not the right word, but it was much more elaborate than I thought. I have obviously talked about this before, but they're talking about now, not only are they going to have to stake the ETH to get loans, but they're going to also run validators and operate L2s as well as L3s. That is just outlandish to me, but this is probably what's going to happen. So here he is again talking about it. Well, 100x from here. Joseph Lubin agrees. Wall Street will stake on Ethereum. Let's see. Lubin predict a seismic shift in global finance. Wall Street giants will run validators, L2s and L3s, and write smart contracts to move their business infrastructure onto Ethereum rails. Here's the thing. They've already done this. This is not news. I mean, it is news because he's saying it, but this is not brand new news, okay? You've got JPM coin, which it talks about somewhere here. But JPM coin is on, there is a private permissionless chain that JP Morgan runs, and the token of it is JPM coin. They only use it internally. It's not something you can invest in. So Sharplink Gaming has added 2.6% of all ETH in circulation to their reserves. I guess a Sharplink Gaming, like the Ethereum Foundation's new gaming thing. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know what that is. We can look it up though. Why don't we do that? Let me read this quote first, then we'll do it. Nobody on the planet can currently fathom how large and fast a rigorously decentralized economy saturated with hybrid human-machine intelligence operating on decentralized Ethereum trustware can grow. As always, my argument. It's just, it's hard to see Ethereum doing all this, but yet it's still keeping under $5,000. That's a little bit about what doesn't make sense to me. However, it could make sense. See what this is. One of the first NASDAQ listed. Okay. Now I see why this is important. It's important because it's the first NASDAQ listed company to develop a treasury strategy centered on ETH. And I'm sure Joseph Lubin is probably directly tied to this. I would assume. Maybe he's not. So they're trying to follow the MicroStrategy path, I guess. From my opinion, that's what I'm seeing. Is that what you guys are seeing? So the thing is we don't have a single story today on Bitcoin. There are no stories on Bitcoin that are major stories right now, in my opinion. I do want to cover this in that. Did it wrong again. Yeah, there's just not a lot. There's not a lot. Okay. All right, let's get back to this article because this is really. I don't want to get too excited about it because I traditionally have held the 4-year cycle pattern. You guys know I've always done that. I've always held on to that 4-year cycle pattern ever since I started this channel, and it has not ever let me down. But the problem is that we're now looking at a different animal. Bitcoin and Ethereum are different animals, and there's a chance this bull run is just getting started. Could you guys imagine? We're already seeing the first steps of the fondue fountain. I talked about fondue fountain to get to explain altcoin season. You got a fondue fountain. You got the top chocolates come out, and what happens is that is Bitcoin. People are investing in Bitcoin. Well, what happens when Bitcoin sits still after some big moves? People start pulling that money out, putting it in Ethereum and Solana, and that's what's happening right now. That's what we're seeing. Then once people are done with that, they go down to the top 20, top 50, top 100, top 1,000. I don't know if we'll ever see another micro altcoin bull run like we saw back in 2017, but the fact is there is a chance, and this is monumental. This is the first time, probably in the history of this channel, that I'm telling you that we could be done with the 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle still will play a role and play a part, but we may not be seeing those major dips that we've seen before. And look, some of the altcoins are going to go to nothing. That's what happens. But with Ethereum and Bitcoin, I always said that this was going to be Ethereum's bull run. I said it last time that this was going to be it, and it's let me down. It hasn't even touched all-time highs. It got very close, but it hasn't. While Bitcoin has exceeded its all-time high greatly so. Is it that we're seeing the Bitcoin portion of the bull run has been extended out, and right now we're about to see the altcoins really go? And I think that is potential. I mean, all the top stories today are about this, basically. Ethereum tracks rising global liquidity and nears a breakout from key resistance. Analysts expect a big move as macro and chart trends align. Ethereum mirrors global liquidity trends, exiting accumulation and entering a potential long-term bull phase. But here it's talking about just going up above 4,800. We don't care about 4,800. We want 10,000. September is usually weak, and I think there's a chart that shows that. Is it in here? Yeah. You can see September hasn't really been great. So there's a chance it might go sideways or whatever. The average is negative 6.17%. But look at October, look at November, and then December is a mixed bag. December is a very mixed bag. You got some really good times like 2017, where that was the end of the bull run. And then you've got 2022, 2021. That was the end of the last bull run. So some of those happened in December. But October is what they call it Pumptober. Pumptober and November have some pretty good gains for Bitcoin. So, but overall, if you look, Q4 is bullish. We went over this last year. Q4 is bullish. September is the end of the third quarter. So let me make sure we're still going here. Oh, we got 2,569 people. Hello to all the people. Sorry about our problem earlier. I'm just going to get a new computer to fix that stuff. So yeah, Michael Rasmussen here says, Drew, nobody cares about a $4,800 ETH. They're looking for a 10K minimum. Yes, I am as well. And this article is a little wishy-washy because they're talking about it's gonna break out. So it's just getting started, and they're basing that data off of global liquidity. And this guy, Merligion Trader, no idea who that is. Global liquidity is expanding higher, and ETH is mirroring the move. It's not hopium, it's macro. Miss it, and you'll be chasing above 6K. Ooh, above 6K. So basically, what he's saying here is by November, this thing will be at higher than 6K. This chart shows it going to 8,000 or 9,000. And what would happen if we did go that high that quick? Will we see a downtrend after that for Ethereum? That is all dependent on what is this bull run going to do. Are we done with it? Bitcoin's got to Bitcoin needs to stay in the range of, I don't like it at 108, but 111 to 117, that would be pretty good, I think, for Bitcoin to sit at. Ethereum is just trading around, blah, 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 blah. Market awaits breakout from triangle. And this is what a lot of people are pointing to, is that it's ready to break out. This is a, I can't remember which one this is. I'm trying to learn them all by heart. But this looks like a bull flag, maybe a bull flag. But it also could be it could go bear. Okay, a bull flag will break out upwards, and then if it's bearish, it breaks out below. But most of the time, it's going to go up. It's basic charting. When you see something on a downtrend, and you get this pattern, most times I think it's like 80%. It's going to break out to the upside because it's just hitting resistance and building more, hitting resistance, building more, and then getting solid onto the support line to go up. And I think that's what we're looking at. But if it does go down, then it would be like a $4,000 Ethereum. Which how in the world could we be happy with a $4,000 Ethereum? So ETH about to choose direction. It's been in compression for 10 days now. This is from Leonard Snyder. If Ethereum breaks out upwards, we probably go from the 4,800 range high. And like I said, that's not what we're excited about. What we're excited about is these 3 months right here. But the thing to be even more excited is what is going to happen when the Q4 ends. Are we going to suddenly, over the next year, drop down extremely low? Is Joseph Lubin just saying this stuff because he wants you to think of this, and he knows he's going to come back down and get some cheaper ETH? But that would be like, I'm trying to think of a good comparison, like of what he's saying. But trying to think of a CEO like Elon Musk. Okay, what if Elon Musk came on Twitter and said he expects the number of verified users to 100x from here? Guess you'd have to do the math on how big the world is, right? So you have to do the math on how much money is in the world. Is there enough money to do this? And I think that Joseph Lubin coming out and saying that is very, very, very strong. It's very strong. You don't see those kinds of predictions at the end of the bull market from people like Joseph Lubin that's been around even longer than I have. So it makes me think that maybe they know something we don't, and maybe we're going to see, maybe we don't have an into this bull run. Maybe it's going to just keep going up, and we're going to experience what we've experienced: jumps and then pullbacks, jumps and then pullbacks, and we just keep doing that. But luckily, you're in crypto early enough still to take advantage of that. So let's move on. Let's talk about Cardano. I covered this in a video this weekend. Ouroboros Leos goes live. Basically, and I'm not going to cover this too big. I know the Cardano people, most of them know this stuff, but the proposal is now open for community review. That's the Ouroboros Leos. Users discuss potential trade-offs for speed, security, and decentralization. So the people that are in the know of this stuff with the Cardano, they're really interested in what trade-offs are they going to have to make it faster, to make it more secure, and make it more decentralized. Community approves $96 million worth of ADA, 960 million ADA worth 71 million to support a year of core upgrades. And like I said, this marks the first time, I said this yesterday, it marks the first time that they have actually, here it is. The proposal passed with 74% approval, marking the first time Treasury funds have been directly allocated to core development. So that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool if you're into this kind of stuff. Okay. So if you're in the community, you go make some comments on that. We also have this story. Trump family's wealth jumps $5 billion after World5 Crypto's robust trading debut in open market. Wow. Didn't he just beat that $400 or $500 million fine or lawsuit or whatever that was? And he gets that money back, and now look at this. You can't see behind him. That's Donald Trump Jr. on the left. You can't see him, but of course, I was on his show, and I begged him to get into crypto. And I begged him to get his dad into it. So pretty interesting stuff. I mean, you could really, hey, if you go and look at the podcast that I did with him 2 years ago, you'll see I predicted a lot of this stuff, and you know, I explained to him maybe off camera, I can't remember, that he's got to get his dad into this, but they were very new, or Don was very new to crypto, but now he's been able to talk to his dad about it, I'm sure, and now they're worth $5 billion. How about that? Okay, some XRP news. This may not be the best XRP news. I don't know. BlackRock ETF XRP, one of the asset manager, isn't launching one. BlackRock has said they have no plans to launch an XRP ETF. BlackRock has made it clear it does not plan to launch an XRP ETF at this time. This decision comes as the investment giant focuses on its Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, leaving XRP out of its fund lineup for now. This is good news, guys. This is good news. We don't really want an XRP ETF. We don't want it, number one, right now. The Ethereum ETFs, we need to let, maybe we got another fondue fountain here, another fondue, and it's the ETFs versus Bitcoin. And they got to accumulate Ethereum, and they got to accumulate XRP and Solana as well. And then those are the main ones. So maybe we're going to look at an XRP ETF maybe early next year. And that could be something maybe that gets the market super bullish if we have into the market. I just want to tell you guys, this is pretty monumental for me. I love to predict things, as you know. I am Bitstradamus. But the thing is that right now, I don't feel comfortable saying when the end of this bull run is going to be. I always like to pick these things early, but there have been so many stories in the last few days that I've been looking at. I've been thinking, man, is the average person really paying attention right now? Because that's what happens in a bull run, and the average person pays attention. I know the president talks about this stuff, but a lot of his base is older. You may be a very savvy, person, maybe in your 60s or 70s, because there are plenty that watch this channel and are great. But is the average person paying attention right now? And I still don't think that is the case, and it will be soon. And when it is, that's usually when there's a top out to the bull run. However, if we were to gradually or slowly move up and just continue in upward fashion, then man, that'd be a lot of great trading opportunities. But we may not see an end to this bull run. We may not see. Look, where's Tom Lee at? Where's this guy? Tom Lee and Joseph Lubin. Ethereum co-founder Joe Lubin predicts 100x ETH. And let's be clear, that will put ETH at basically $500,000, just so we're clear. As Wall Street adopts DeFi with potential to flip Bitcoin's monetary base through institutional staking, just through institutional staking alone. And I really like back in the early days of 2017, 2018. I remember thinking to myself, man, if we could only get the corporations and the institutions into crypto, it would crush it. I had videos talking about that going all the way back to 2018. And now here we are, and this is happening. Co-founder Joseph Lubin predicts a 100x rally over time. Now, he doesn't say it's going to 100x tomorrow. That doesn't matter if you got just 1 or 2 ETH, right? And he said probably much more. He thinks it will probably much more. It will go up more than 100x. Lubin boldly opined that Wall Street will stake Ether because they currently pay for their infrastructure, and Ethereum will replace much of the many siloed stacks they operate on. Lubin said he was 100% aligned with Fundstrat Global Advisors managing partner Tom Lee, who said in August that Wall Street would stake and use Ethereum and the ETH could flip Bitcoin in terms of network value. And I don't usually put any credence into what Tom Lee says, because he has grossly exaggerated many of the gains of these coins, specifically with Bitcoin and Ethereum. and giving unrealistic time frames. That's why there was a season on this channel where we gave you unreasonable time frames and prices as well, because we were playing off all the news that all these big guys were saying. We learned to get away from that. But this right here, I mean, Lubin doubled down on his 100x ETH rally stance in alignment with Lee, saying, I keep telling Tom this, he's not nearly bullish enough. So he's saying the $12,000 for ETH is not bullish enough. I mean, okay, we get somewhere between $500,000 and $12,000. I think we'll be happy. But Ethereum has just not really done much in this bull run. It hasn't. That's when we're right now at a double top, going all the way back to 2021 and well, yeah, all the way back to 2021 November. So I think we could see something similar here, where we get another pattern like this. We get another pattern like this, maybe like right here, and that would get us up to, you know, $6,000. And I think 6,000 has got to be the target. I mean, 5K, it's not that impressive if it's just going to go up and hit it for, you know, just bink off of it. It's got to be strong. It's got to move forward. Let's see here. Did I accidentally? Oh man. Okay. All right. So let's continue to look at ETH here. Let's look at smaller time frames. Let's get an hour on ETH. That's where we have that little. We've got a BART pattern here that you can see. You can see the green dot lined up here as well on Market Cipher. Yeah, problem is looking at this. I mean, it looks like these are just the same pattern reproduced almost. It's having a hard time once it gets above 4,800. 4,800 is kind of the demarcation. We've got to get above 4,800. But 5,000 is right there. So if you get over 4,800, you've got to think the next time it's going to move and be bullish and get back up to $5,000, maybe with a target of 6,000, 6,500, somewhere around there. I think it's totally possible. Because here, with all the stuff we've looked at today, you have to consider that Ethereum, it can't keep going sideways and down forever. If it keeps going sideways and down, then that's messing up our fondue tree, our fondue system. I don't really know how to say that, but basically it's where you get the investments that fall to more risk. That's really what it all boils down to. Solana, there's actually a Solana story as well. Let me look for Solana. Well, I can tell you one thing is with that news that we looked at with BlackRock, and it's saying they're not going to do an XRP and EFT anytime soon. That's going to give, I believe, this some more time to really build out. Here, the crypto lark said that. Megaphone pattern to $10,000. You guys remember that one? I can't find the deal, but some people are saying that Solana is really what's going to get the ETF next. I can't find it. I digress. Okay. Nope, that is not what I wanted to do. Anyways, guys, I don't have too much more for you guys today. I accidentally hit a comment. I'm very confused. But yeah, you just read a story saying Ethereum is going to 100x, which is ridiculous. Look, RJ loves hockey. You get to be lucky and get called out on this one. I'm not saying that it is, okay? I would really be confused if we did not have these bull cycles that are so rhythmic. So I definitely think it's ridiculous that it could 100x today or tomorrow, but over the next 20 years, I mean, I think we're going to see a $5 million Bitcoin one day. It'll probably be maybe after I'm dead and gone. Maybe not, hopefully not. But I don't believe we're going to be getting higher than $140,000 for Bitcoin. However, if Ethereum has a gigantic run up, like these guys are predicting, and they come back in and want some more Bitcoin, they're going to trade that ETH for Bitcoin. But the big thing is they don't have a motivation. They don't have motivation to sorry, I'm trying to find that so I can unclick it. Sorry, okay. I forgot what I was saying. Okay, I'm looking at some of the comments here. Sod crypto. Sod like grass. Time in the market, not timing the market. HODL in 4 years, forever in profit. That is true. Why is Chris Larson selling? I don't know. Maybe he needs some money. What worries me is that XRP had all-time high weeks before the SEC case was over. And when announced, it came out, it never again reached all-time high again. Wait, no, XRP did make a new all-time high. 380 or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is. So Joseph Lubin has zero credibility. I don't think so. I think he does have some credibility. Okay. Are we still bullish on GRT? Yeah, I think so. The thing is, when you start, here's the response here. The thing is, though, when you start seeing numbers like that, you get newbies buying at the top. Well, look, I'm reserved on this. I'm not telling you that this is definitely going to happen. This is really the exact definition of hopium, is what this is. It's something that you look at and you say, oh my gosh, if this happens, I will be so rich, right? There's so much hope for me. So I think Joseph Lubin, the more important the person is coming out saying it, the better. And look, Tom Lee was wrong on Bitcoin for a lot of years, and then it finally hit $100,000. He predicted a $200,000 Bitcoin in 2017 or 2018, or one or the other, and didn't get close to that. But I think that see, buy the rumor, sell the news for XRP. Hey, what can you do? So is Ondo going to rip? Yeah, Ondo is definitely going to rip for sure. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. RJ Loves Hockey accidentally got a comment up here. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can pick comments and talk about that next time. I'll just click on the ones I'm seeing instead of just having to read them. So anyways, guys, that is all we got for today. I appreciate you watching. Be blessed. Boy out.